Welcome to Internet Quality Academy. The channel is for the quality control engineer, site engineer, and the civil engineer who are working in the construction field. In this channel, we are dealing with anything and everything which is required to get success in the construction. Today also, I'm going to discuss about a very important topic, that is what is initial setting time and what is final setting time of the cement, and why it is important and how to determine initial and final setting time as per Indian standard. So stay tuned until the end to get the full information about the initial and final setting time. And if you're new on my channel, kindly subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that whenever I upload a new video, you will get immediate notification. So without wasting time, let's jump into the subject, that is initial and final setting time of cement, importance and procedure. So first we need to know what is setting time of cement. That is important. The setting time refers to the time period required for the cement paste to transition from a fluid state to a solid state. It is essential parameter for the quality control of cement. Let's understand what is a cement, or what is the concrete. Concrete is the hardened paste of combination of cement and water, aggregate, and everything. Now what is happening whenever we are adding water into the cement or in the concrete, that cement and water start reacting each other and it's make a hardened paste. So point A is that the adding of water into the cement, and point C is the ultimate time when it become completely set or it cannot be worked out or it cannot be poured. It is completely set, that is called the total cement time. So these point A to point C, after adding the water, what is the time is required to become a solid state, that is called the setting time of the cement. The next is what is initial and final setting time. We discussed that time of adding water and time it become a completely solid, that is a setting time. Now it's there is a initial and final setting time. So what is the period elapsed from the moment water is added to the cement until the paste start to lose its plasticity? That means whenever we are adding water into the cement, then it is become a fluid or it's a plastic material. Now why it is called the plastic state? Because in the plastic state we can pour the concrete or pour the mortar and we can vibrate and everything. So it is important that in this time we need to do the entire process of the concreting. So the time the concrete is or the cement is start losing its plasticity is called the initial time setting time. And what is the final setting time? The period elapsed from the moment of water is added to the cement until the paste has completely lose its plasticity and has attained sufficient firmness. That means point A is whenever we are adding water, and point C whenever it's completely loses plasticity and starts setting. So this total point is called the final setting. But in between A to C, there is another incident has happened, that is it is start losing its plasticity. That point is called the initial setting time. So point A, point B, point C. Point A, we are adding water. Point B, it start losing its plasticity. And point C, it's completely lost its plasticity and hasn't sufficient firmness. So point A to B is initial setting time and point A to C is final setting time. The next is what is plasticity. Already we discussed about in the initial and final setting time that it start losing the plasticity. The plasticity refers to the property of a material that allows it to be deformed or shaped without breaking or cracking. It indicates the ability of material to undergo permanent deformation under applied stress and retain in the new shape once the stress is removed. That means it is referred to property of material. It allows to be deformed or shaped. It can be deformed or it can be reshaped, whatever it can be made in this plastic state. The concrete, we know we need to pour the concrete inside the formwork and it takes the shape or as per the formwork. During this only plastic limit time, if it is beyond the plastic limit time, it will not happen. So that is why the plasticity is very important in the concrete. So these are the plasticity. Next point is why initial setting time or the setting time is important. there are very numerous things we need to know about the importance of the setting time of the cement, be it the initial setting time or it is the final setting time. First, ensure that the cement remains workable for a sufficient period. We need to know what is the initial setting time of the cement, because in this period of time we need to do the entire operation. That means concrete pouring, concrete vibrating, and concrete leveling or concrete finishing. So that is why we need to know the say initial setting time of the cement. Then allows enough time to proper placement and compaction in construction. So whenever we know that this is my time, then we can plan accordingly. That it indicates the time available for mixing, transporting, placing the cement before it start to harden. So that we discuss. Then ensuring that the cement has achieved enough strength to begin subsequent construction activities without causing damage. That means without the understanding whether the concrete has start setting or the final setting time has attained, we cannot do the next activity. That is why it is also important to know what is my final setting time of cement. Important for scheduling construction process and ensuring structural integrity. So in order to scheduling the next activity, we need to know the what is the final setting time of the cement. That it signifies when the cement has hardened enough to withstand external pressure or can be safely handled without deformation. So it is also important whether the traffic can be allowed or any activity can be start. That is also important for the cement or the concrete. That is why the setting time is important. The next is relevant IS code. What is the relevant IS code? It is IS 4031 Part 5 1988, reaffirmed in 2019. Deformation or determination of standard consistency of cement paste. And IS 551319 and 6, that is Vicat Apparatus of specification. So why this Vicat Apparatus is the instrument we need to determine, we need to know about this, and this is the instrument we will determine what is the setting time or initial or the final. Next part is testing apparatus. What is that? Is Vicat apparatus, balance and the weight, and then gauging travel and conforming to ISO 10086 and the non-porous glass material. We will discuss later what is that. Then what is the temperature of humidity of the material or the room temperature whenever we are performing the test for the initial and the final setting? The temperature of molding room, dry material and water shall be maintained at 27 plus minus 2 degrees centigrade, and the relative humidity of the laboratory shall be 65 plus minus 55%. So it is very much important to know what is the temperature of the laboratory and what is the humidity. And then we need to prepare the mold and we need to keep for the preparation or the testing. Then moist closet or the moist room shall be maintained 27 plus minus 2 degree and the relative humidity not less than 90%. That means this is the my room temperature and this is the closet where we'll keep the mold in order to get the right kind of test. So these are the temperature and humidity for the testing. Then what is coming? Vicat apparatus details. Now we need to know what is the Vicat apparatus details, and I have already discussed all the things about the Vicat apparatus in my previous video, that is normal consistency cement. Please watch that one, you will get full information about this. Still, these are the Vicat apparatus. This is the testing mold. This is the needle C. This is the details of needle C. This is the plunger G. Plunger G we are not using here. Plunger G is used for the normal consistency cement. This needle C used for the initial setting time, and needle F is for the final setting time. This needle F is the dimension, diameter is 5 plus minus 0.1, and height is the 30 plus minus 1, and 3.51 is the air vent. So these are the needle F for the final setting time, and for the initial setting time, needle C is 50 plus minus 1 is the height, and 1.13 plus minus 0.05 is the diameter. So these two we will use for the initial and for the final setting time of cement. And here is the testing apparatus from the front view. Here is the indicator, or the scale is there. Here is the release pin. Here's the clamping screw, and is the reading scale. We need to read the our readings. It is coming from 0 to 40, and so we need to, whenever we are placing or releasing needle C or the needle F, we need to read the reading, and according to the requirement of the IS 4031, we'll find out what is the initial and what is the final setting time. The next part is what is the test procedure. It is into 4031 part 5. So what is this? The prepare a neat cement paste by gauging the cement with 0.85 times of water required to give a paste of standard consistency. Now, what is the cement we need? That cement, it can be 300, it can be 500. According to the requirement, you need to take the cement. Now, what it will be the water? Water will be the 0.85 times of the water required to give a paste of standard consistency. So, in order to do the initial and final setting time of cement, we need to know what is the normal consistency of cement. So, what is normal consistency cement and how to do the normal consistency of cement? What is the test procedure? I have made a detailed video. Link is there or in the description. Please check. You will get full information about that. That is why it is important to know what is my normal consistency of cement and what will be the 0.85 times of the water required to give a paste of standard consistency. Suppose we need 25-liter paste for the normal consistency, or no, so what will be my case? That will be 0.85 times. Suppose we are taking 400 grams of cement, and for the 400 gram of cement, my normal consistency is 25%. That means 400 into 25, that means 100 ml water is required for the normal consistency. But for the initial and final setting times, it is 0.85 same. That means 85 ml water is required for the 400 grams of cement. Please, again, I'm repeating this one. What you need to know what is the standard consistency of the cement. Standard consistency cement, suppose we are getting 25%. Now, we need to prepare a test using 400 gram of cement. So, for the 400 grams of cement, whatever the water is required for the normal consistency, 400 into 25%, that is 100 ml water is required. For initial setting and the final setting times, 0.85 times. That means 100 ml into 0.85. That means 85 ml of water required. Okay, clear? So, in 400 grams, if the normal consistency is 25%, 85 ml water to be added. Then water should be potable or the distilled water. The paste shall be gauged in the manner and in under the conditions prescribed in 403 that we already discussed. Start stopwatch at the instant when water is added at the cement. Fill the Vicat mold E with a cement paste. Gauge as above. So the mold resting on a non-porous plate. Why non-porous plate? That there will be no slurry leakage or no mortar leakage. That is why the non-porous plate. Fill the mold completely and smooth up the surface of the paste, making it level with the top of the mold. The cement block thus prepared in the mold is the test block. So we have already discussed this is the test block E. We need to make the paste and we need to fill the block test block is like this, and it has to place in the non-porous plate, and it should be shake or to remove any air inside this. The next is place the test block. Now we need to determine the initial setting time. Place the test block confined in the mold and resting on the non-porous plate under the rod bearing the needle C. Lower the needle gently until it comes in contact with the surface of the test block and quickly release. Now, need to understand. Now, this is the C. Now we have to release and we have to keep this one, and we have to bring the needle up to this. That means above the test block, and then again quickly we have to release, and when it is released we need to check the reading. What is the reading it says? That contact with the surface and test block and quickly release, allowing it to penetrate into the test. In the beginning, the needle will completely pierce the test block. Repeat the procedure until the needle, when brought in contact with the test block and released as described above, fails to pierce the block beyond 5 plus minus 0.5 mm. Now, this is when this needle first it will go up to this, then the reading will show 0, and the time it will shows 5 plus minus 0.5. That is my initial setting time. So what are the time required from the water is added and the plunge or the needle is getting 5 plus minus 0.5 mm reading. That time is called the initial setting time. So we need to take that time, maybe it is 30 minutes, 35 minutes, whatever, that we need to record, and it should be referred as a initial setting time of the cement. Now for the final setting time, we need to change the needle, and from C to F, already we discussed what is the F is this the Vicat apparatus F needle. So this needle has to fixed here. Now we don't need to the C needle. Now it is a F needle. So what we need to do, replace the needle, and the D cement shall be considered as finally set when, upon applying the needle gently to the surface to the test block, the needle makes an impression therein. While the attachment fails to do so, the period elapsing between the time when water is added and the cement and the time it makes no impression, that is the final setting time of cement. So what is that? From here, whenever we releasing this test block, that is a needle F, that will make an impression like this on the cement paste. So whenever this needle fail to impress, there will be no impression on the test block. The time required from the time of adding water, from there will be no impression on the test block. That time is called the final setting time of cement. So in this way, we can measure the initial and the final setting time. What is the test report? The test report should be the test result of initial and final setting time shall be reported to the nearest 5 minutes. So it should be in the minutes. So it will be 30, 35, 40. It's like that. Or final setting time 3 hours or 3 hours, 5 minutes. It's like that. So reporting should be in the minutes. And what are the precaution we need to take whenever we are doing the initial and final setting? Already we discussed in the initial setting to normal consistency. Ensure that all equipment, including the Vicat apparatus, plunger, and mixing bowl, are clean and free from any previous residue or contamination. Use freshly, properly stored cement. Avoid using cement that has been exposed to moisture or has lumps. Use distilled or deionized water. Accurately weigh the cement and water. Mix the cement paste uniformly and consistently. Conduct the test immediately after preparing the cement paste, and then fill the Vicat mold the cement paste carefully, avoiding air bubbles and ensuring the mold is filled completely and uniformly. Ensure the plunger that the Vicat apparatus is properly aligned and can move freely without any obstruction. Take accurate readings of the plunger penetration and the nearest millimeter. Perform multiple trials to ensure the consistency of results. So that it is saying not only one, maybe one, two, three. So whenever you are getting the consistent result, that time should be recorded, and that should be taking as the initial or the final setting. So these are the things about initial and final setting times and how to determine what is the procedure. I hope you find it useful. And then if you find it useful, kindly subscribe and like my channel. And if you want to know anything more about quality control and construction, please let me know. I will come with more content like this. And I'm waiting for your valuable comments so that from your comment, everybody will be benefited. And thank you once again for watching me.